Okay, hello everybody. Here with us today is Prateek Pavecha, who is the CEO of Appson Technologies, a company specialized in the creation of customized digital technology, such as RPS systems and yeah, all of that. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. What about you, Ronaldo?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you for coming to this podcast. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about IT crowds, IT teams, and yeah, something about technologies, sure for sure. And yeah, let's start if you want. Just an introduction
Yes,
for you.
it's my pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's my pleasure to connect with you and be part of that
Yeah,
amazing podcast that you guys are running. So it's really honor to be there with you guys and discussing the IT crowd and the things related to IT, how the teams are built up, and all such kind of things.
yeah. In the short time that I've been like in contact with you, I noticed that you are very IT dedicated. You work with this like the whole day, right?
Yeah, of course. Whole day and sometimes nights also.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because just if someone doesn't notice, Patrick is from India. He's joining us right straight from India. And now it's very early for us, but for him is a little bit late. So yeah, working with different time zones is always a challenge, right? Okay. Okay, perfect. I'm glad you were able to come here to the podcast. In the community right now are listening like entrepreneurs, businessmen who are working in their business model, and they are building the next the next social leading market network. Sorry, or online stores and all of that stuff. And this, but in order to create these projects, it's important to create an specialized team, right? You know about
Right.
this, and this team has to be committed to ensure the project is completed. And I wanted to ask you, if an entrepreneur wants to build his digital project, considering that he's not an expert in technology, of course, what will be the first step to build your IT team, for example?
Yeah, the first step is first you need to identify what kind of people you need. Okay, then what kind of people you want with the what kind of tech stacks. Okay,
Yeah,
I
for
saw
sure.
that many startups that have the non IT founders that didn't give much that much of importance to the IT teams, but yeah, there needs to be given importance because they are the backbone of their startups. Okay, because you are
Yeah,
running
for
your
sure.
startup based on mobile application or web application or SaaS platform. So along with your idea, your backbone is IT team. So you need to be very careful while choosing the IT teams. I see that with many people and with many IT teams, what we have is like what they do is they do not spend much on the IT. Correct. So that's why they failed or they choose the wrong teams because of the kind of less budgeting, or they choose
Yeah,
who
for
is
sure.
going to who is going to provide them on cheap. So based on that, my experience, I can prove you that you can have the limited resources, but you need to choose the good people.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to spend a little bit less, you have to worry more and in find that people that will help you to. Something that you say that I really like it is that the backbone. You really need to focus on this, because if your company is gonna run on an application or it's gonna depend on an application, the IT
Yeah,
team has to be one of the strongest departments of your company.
one of the strongest part. Yeah, correct, correct, correct.
Yeah, 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 got it. Yeah, it's important. Yeah, something that we got in common. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually like most of the founders, they are excited to build their products, but when it comes to the budgeting, since they do not have the funding, then what they do is they start to find the cheaper teams. But with cheaper teams, they don't get the quality that they are looking for,
yeah,
because in the start, what you need to do is you need to clear with your ideas and you need to build a product or a base architecture that you can scale when you
yeah.
got funded.
Yeah,
So that's very important.
yeah. Scaling is the base for developing, right? You need to
Correct.
start.
Because
You need to start
yeah, because
small
you need
but
to build
scalable.
the you yeah because you need to build the architecture from scratch, and we are starting. It is the very good choice. So you don't have to do the things again when you are when you try to scale, or when you have the funding for your ideas. You just need to scale the whole product that you currently have in the form of MVP, minimum viable product.
Yeah, yeah. You're always looking for that MVP. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
minimal viable product. Okay, so for example, and you already said that it is important to find the correct people for this team. And what can but who is gonna find those people? Well, should be a project manager, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
of
if
course.
it doesn't matter if the businessman, the man with the or the woman with the business is the own project manager, the same is the same people. That's what I want to say. It's the same person,
Yeah.
the owner and the project manager. But what characteristic should a project manager have?
The program manager, I think that he should be experienced with the people, or with working with the dedicated teams that are going to build the products. I guess like right now there are trend of CTO as a service. So the entrepreneurs or the non IT founders can hire the consultant, or a kind of part-time CTOs that can help them to pick the people that are
Yeah,
feasible for their choice. Either they can outsource the product to the company. So when they are outsourcing to the company, they must interview them, that how the leaders, or how the project manager that is assigning to them, is they are capable to develop the product with the team
yeah,
that
for
they are
sure.
going to hire.
Yeah,
So that's very important.
yeah. Another important thing that I would say is that if you don't have the experience picking up developers or picking up stacks, you have to delegate this responsibility because it's important if you have to adjust the budget that you have, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. You need to adjust the budget, but this little bit of money can save you a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You have to put the money in the right places, right?
Yeah, right. Like you can hire, instead of four, instead you can hire two good people, but you
Yeah,
need to hire the good people.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that must be
For
the
hiring.
case.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
already said a little bit about the next question. What characteristics should a developer working for a project team should have?
The characteristics, first of all, he must be proficient with the technical skills that he is demonstrating in his CV or resume. First, second thing, the developer must be a problem solver, because
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
not going to come to us and telling the technical problems. He should solve themselves. He needs to be proactive. He needs to be provide the solutions to the founders, and if he seems that something is being better than what is proposed by the founders or the managers or CTOs, then he should tell them that in this way these things can be done in a better way. So this is the main thing.
Yeah,
Second thing, the on technical level, the coding part should be neat and clean. The code they write, the things that they develop, the basic architecture of the product should be neat and clean, so that it can be scaled and it can be understood by other developers also. So that are two of the most important things that I see in my developers.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, but there are like many different scales of developer teams. You know, there are, for example, in like these big companies there that they have hundreds and hundreds of developers. It's very different from small companies with small IT crews, right?
Correct,
The
correct.
abilities, the
It's pretty
abilities,
different.
yeah, the abilities that
Yeah, yeah, but
software
as
developer should have.
as I told you, like in a starting phase, the entrepreneurs doesn't have that much of the budget, so they don't go to the big companies
Yeah, for sure.
because they eat lot of your budget. So in that case, you need to see the medium and small size companies, which have they also have the pretty good developers. And one thing that I want to comment, that these companies have the developers that are all rounders, so they can do front end, they can do back end, they can help with any other technologies. But in the big companies, you find the specific guy who is skilled in specific things.
Yeah.
But in the small and medium sized company, you can find the all rounders or problem solvers that can help with a kind of any tech stacks.
Yeah, yeah. It depends always on the company, on the development that has to be done. But
Yeah.
just a small advice for developers. What do you think is better if you are building a developer career, for example? What would be better if you specialize on specific technologies, or if you get all this stack for technology? You know, from directly from architecture up to making
No, if
HTML
you are
or
building a
something.
career as a developer in start, you need to be specific on the specific technology. Okay. Then once you like you have the hands over the one of the specific technologies, then you can try with the another ones.
Yeah.
So that in the journey you can learn many things. And when you are going to design the architecture. It must be a mid-level developer who is going to design the architecture of a so that he has the experience behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
when you're when you're new or fresher, I guess you don't have that much of experience to design the architecture of the whole application that needs to be scalable. So you need to have a mid-sized developers at that part, or a senior developer having 3 to 5 years of experience at least.
Yeah, yeah. Would you recommend having senior and junior developers in the same crowd? Do you think that that is a good like a trainee system?
Yeah, of course, but it also depends on the budget of the,
Yeah,
because
for
senior
sure.
developers cost you a loss. So basically, if you have one senior person and a many mid-level or junior person, then it will be quite good, because one senior person can guide the people and also tell them if they are doing something wrong. He can advise them. He can guide them
Yeah,
with
but
the whole.
because you always can like hire five senior developers, but that will be out of budget, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
in
could
my
be
team.
silly.
Yeah, in my team, what I can do, if I have to build a team, okay, let's say I have to build a team of 6 people, then what I can do is I have one senior person, two mid developers, and three junior developers.
Yeah, yeah. You always have to have the budget in mind. Yeah, because you
Yeah,
are.
with the budget in mind, you also have to combine the balance of the
Yeah,
team. Okay, you can't hire 5 junior developers, you can't hire 5 senior developers,
yeah,
you can't hire 5 mid-level developers. So there can be one senior developer, two two mid-level developers, and three junior developers.
yeah. Thank you, thank you. I already said thank you for the community to use because these things that you are saying are gold. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing my knowledge based on my experience.
Yeah, yeah, but your experience is beyond all the comparisons with for some people. For example, I'm not gonna say specific clients, but a lot of clients will love to have that experience. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Here I have some basis questions, so I'm gonna complete them before we started like talking about another things. Okay, we already noticed that you are an AT expert, but if you want to explain first, I'm sorry that I passed this before. If you want to explain who are you, how do you start Appson Technologies, a little bit about your company or what do you do, anything you want to say in right now?
Yeah, of course. Like my name is Prateek Pavecha. I'm
Yeah,
graduated in 2013. Then I worked as a freelancer for 2 years. Then I founded this company called Appson Technologies. Basically, it's my dream to found my own company, because like I don't have very strong financial backgrounds over there, but it's my dream to be something, to build my own. Okay, so that's why I rejected some of the jobs in start of my career and continue to work as a freelancer to learn new things. Then I founded this in 2015. Right now, I have 40 amazing people who are working with me,
40. Oh,
developing
nice.
various kind of things. Yeah, and what we do is like we usually transforming the companies into digitals, the day-to-day business. We do mobile applications, we do web applications, We are doing RPA, we do artificial intelligence. There are
Yeah,
various
nice.
domains that we are working upon.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds a lot of projects. That sounds a lot of people that you started like from the bottom, and I think I can
I
understand you in some
started
way.
with like when I remember, like when I go to that old days, I started with mostly three people
Yeah, yeah,
in
the
this.
good old days.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
that's
nice.
about me. We are based in like Indore, India. Our headquarters are in Indore, India, the cleanest city of India. And what we do is like right now we are targeting the Latin American market and as well as US and Europe. So that's our goal. Is I have many friends in the LATAM, so I know a lot of people there.
Yeah, yeah. In these connections, that's how we met. By the way, so yeah, here we are. Now you are here sharing the knowledge and very valuable knowledge. Yeah, I just want to congrat to you because the starting from the bottom and starting all this. I started this company and starting into this market. I already know that you are making good things with the IT, with development, with you already mentioned AI. So yeah, that's a lot of projects. That's a lot of experience that you are already sharing with us.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
yeah, talking about your expertise, your main team making IT crowds. Um, yeah, if an entrepreneur does, we're supposing all these things. If an entrepreneur does not have well-defined functionalities of his project, what consequences or problems could cause this to the development team, or yeah, to the development team?
Can you please repeat?
Oh, okay, sorry. If an entrepreneur does not have well-defined functionalities of his project, what problems would lead cause to the development team in when the development team is making his product? If an entrepreneur does not have well-defined all the functionalities and characteristics of his product, you,
Okay, yeah,
let's say a
because
store or
yeah,
whatever.
I understand. Yeah, basically, like if interpreter doesn't have the defined scope of work, then his tech team didn't know what they are building and how they are building. Okay, they didn't know like what the end goal is, what their aim is to build, and how they can, if they didn't know their goal, how they can build a product that can be a scalable or even a MVP, because they didn't know, like because in that case, like in 1 week there is some other features and in another week there is some other features, and there will be a lot of modifications which hampered the soul of the project.
Yeah, that's something that we used to like remark because if you don't have like the MVP or well-defined succession of screens, at least,
Yeah.
it's very hard for the
Yeah.
team
The
to.
first step of building a tech product is to freeze the specifications or to have the defined specifications that what you want to build. The next part, after freezing the specifications, the designs, how you want the application to look like, how what is your vision, where you want the things. So in that case, once the specifications are fixed, based on that, the design team can present you with the designs. Then you can see the designs, you can see the flow. Right now there are various tools like Invisio, Figma are some of the tools where you can like model your designs
Yeah, yeah.
into a real app, how the flow is going to work. So once you define that and freeze them, then this is really very easy for the tech team to implement, because they actually know what you need to achieve and what your idea and vision is. Because what at the end the entrepreneur goal is to have everyone in his team to achieve that goal that he has in his mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's really important.
You have to be very good at communicate if you don't have all the things specified because or something that I always have think like correct me if I'm wrong that if you don't have very well specified all these things you have to have this person who is like a project manager of course but can translate all the things that you have in your mind to the team, because if the team is not
No,
understanding.
I guess like that's the work of the business analyst. Okay, that's what the business analyst do, not the project manager.
Yeah, for sure.
Project manager is there to work on the, I guess, like on the like timelines, sprints, and the second thing is the budgeting. Okay, and the resourcing.
So
The
it's part of
business
his job.
analyst has to, yeah, the business analyst has to do define this. But if he even doesn't have the clear idea, then it is very difficult for the project manager, even the tech team, to develop and define like what they are doing, because in that case the codes are hampered. The most important part is when you are writing the codes, you need to have the vision that I have to, like, right now I'm doing this feature, after that I have to do this, after that I have to do this, and this is the whole project. Even if you are working on a small module and not known to all of the things, but when you are working on some modules, you need to be clear what you are going to build.
Yeah, yeah, you have
It's in
that's
your head.
yeah, and that's part of the job, as we said. So yeah, uh, there's no there's no 100% of efficiency in development. Some project has to fail, and in your experience, what factors determine whether or not a project is going to be finished or is going to fail?
There are various factors and various coefficients, like we discussed, for skills, skilled team, development team, planning team, and then there has to be a defined goal to achieve. I think these are the main characteristics that takes your project to either to success or either to fail. Okay,
Yeah.
if you don't have the good developers, they what they do is they will writing you a buggy code, or the code that is not up to the mark, then it will cause a lot of problem. The features are working, but the code is not up to the mark, so your application can get crazed anywhere anytime. Okay, so it is important that you have the well skilled and well technical people. Similarly, if the entrepreneur doesn't have the defined scope of work or doesn't have the defined idea, then the developers or the tech team have to do the reworks if there is going to be changes, and if there is going to be frequent changes, then there is a lot of time that will take, and then it will lose the interest of the team, that because there are like constant changes, and it will hampers the product as well as the codes and as well as the motivation of the team, I can say.
Yeah, but it can fail right from the development team until the development team, sorry, until the planning of the projects, right? It can
Yeah,
fail
but
in many
from planning,
steps. Yeah,
yeah,
from planning.
from planning to delivery,
Yeah,
everything needs to be aligned.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It
in
can
order
fail
to
in
make a
many
project
phases,
success.
many
Yeah,
phases of
you
the
can
project.
fail in many phases. Yeah, of
Okay, yeah,
course.
it's like an art, but also a professional responsibilities that the project manager and the owner and the developer should have
Yeah, of
for
course.
to achieve that goal. No.
Yeah. To be honest, like when I started, like I am not able to deliver a lot of projects, but I see where the fault is. Then I realigned, and then we started to deliver the successful projects to the teams.
Yeah, yeah. Experience is something unvaluable.
Yeah, of course, because you see where you are failing and where are the things going wrong, and then you can rectify them.
Yeah, it is also. I think I'm doing support guessings about about the company, but yeah, like these iterations. When you finish one project and you do the what is called in Scrum when you review the things that happen in the iteration.
Sprints.
Yeah, a sprint. When once you finish it up, when you finish it up, the spring, the review for the spring. I don't remember the name. Okay, it doesn't matter, but yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, in order to compact all this information that we were saying and discussing here, what advice can you give to the entrepreneurs who want to develop a business model, which business model is really based on a mobile app, a desktop app, or a web platform? Because we cannot tell, for example, if the business model is based in another thing, we cannot say too much about that. But if the business model is based on a
Yeah,
mobile app,
basically,
what would you say?
like just keep focus on the tech team, uh, because it is the backbone of your product, or whatever your idea is. Your idea is, I I I don't doubt is unbelievable, their idea, but what they need to do is they need to get the right people in order to make it a success.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you need to be ruthless. Sometimes it works, but yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's this is the business.
Yeah, this is the business.
I don't know how to say that.
I also like, if the people, my another advice is, if the people doesn't have the budget in Latam, they can see the developers or remote teams in the cheaper places like us in India, in eastern parts like Bangladesh, and there are some another other countries also like Vietnam, where they can find the people in cheap. Okay, and these guys, like, I know, because we are at a distance, and the language interest is a issue, but you can try because they are hard bowler. They can beat the developers from Latam pretty easily. Okay, so they have the like skills, really good skills, and they can't cost you a lot of money.
Yeah,
At least they can't cost you the meals.
yeah, for sure. They will find the developers adapted to the budget, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
and pretty good developers.
Yeah, pretty good. Okay. So, talking a little bit more about your project management experience, and yeah, something like you said before about scalability of the project, or yeah, all about that. How do you? And this is a frequently asked question in the developer area. How do you pick? How do you choose the technologies for a project? Yeah, that would be a problem if you are, for example, a junior developer, or you have to define it from the scratch, and the business is asking you, the businessman is asking you how to, what technologies will be, because that depends on the developer you will hire, right?
Yeah, right. It totally, sorry, I can
Don't
say
worry.
it totally depends. Uh, it totally depends on the, because based on the technologies that we define, it totally depends on what kind of requirements the entrepreneur or the client has. Okay, it totally depends on that. If we find that the idea or the requirements are aligned with the Python, and some Node.js and some kind of Angular React, then we can suggest them. In mobile application, if they need both Android and iOS, then we tell them that it will be better to use Flutter or React Native, because they are the boom technologies for the hybrid. They don't have to do the codes again and again on Android and iOS. But if there are some specific requirements that suits to the native Android and iOS, then we suggest them. So it totally depends on the requirements of the clients.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
based on that, we choose the technologies.
But if the client doesn't have the budget, for example, let's say I'm a client and I know some things about the technology area, and I say I want my API built in Ruby on Rails, and I want native applications for each device, and yeah, all of that. If I come with all these requirements, what would you say if I am the client? Yeah, and I don't have the budget, of course, because if I had the budget, I can make whatever I want, right?
Yeah, right. We can do something over that for that part. Like, we do have some of the ideas or some of the, like, business models. Like, what we do is, we don't ask the clients to pay a hefty sum upfront. do it in parts like 20%, 20%, 20% in 5 parts. So what the client can do is he can pay us so we can start the work, then he can find some another financing, and then he can pay, so it will be flexible for both him and us. So
Yeah,
we are getting paid for our work, and he also don't have the burden to pay like 50% in advance or
yeah,
something like this.
yeah, yeah.
So they
There
are
is
the both
always
ways.
options, right?
Yeah, of course. It
Yeah,
also depends on people like us, like if they want to, because what we think or what I think is because someone's dream is our dreams, and our job is to make his dream come true.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we have to be flexible with this. So if a person doesn't have budget, but if he has the patience, then we have to help him.
Yeah, yeah. You already mentioned that.
Because in entrepreneurship everything is not about money. You also have to be the humanitarian values
Yeah, yeah. You're
in
working with
business.
persons. Yeah, you have to be like that flexible. You have to be compre yeah, I don't remember the word, but I was about to say it. Yeah, you already mentioned about the hybrid technologies, the React Native, Vue also native. Yeah,
Flutter.
yeah, all of that non-native technologies. It is fun because they have native on the name, but they are not native. Native.
Yeah, of course.
Would you recommend all of those? Do you think that is a good first step for making a business model?
For me, for mobile applications, like Flutter is on a boom right now, and there are a lot of updates, and it is a kind of a mature technology right now. So Flutter is getting good. We are also like doing the application. Most of them are on Flutter, but yeah, we
Flutter?
also
Okay, nice.
working the React Native on the other side. But yeah, right now I can say Flutter is much better.
Okay, okay, that's the free advice. Flutter is okay. Flutter is good for building all these kind of applications. Okay. I think we're running out of questions. The last two questions were not reading here.
Yeah.
I was also interested into this, like the technology you will advise to learn the technology you think that are the future, the next steps for the business. Yeah, what technologies? You already said that these are the boom. These are the main increasing values.
Yeah, right now, like if I can see the markets, if I can see the markets right now, like I can say that you should learn Python, you should learn the JavaScripts and various frameworks. Like if you want to be a full stack developer, you can learn the like Monstack, Node and React. You can use the Mini Stack, Angular and Node, and these are the kind of technologies that are on boom. You can also learn various frameworks of Python if you want to be a data engineer or if you want to go into the artificial intelligence. So that's are some of the my advice.
Yeah, there are a lot of requirements for data engineers, right? Do you think that it's because a developer is not always a data engineer, right? It is like
Yeah, a
another
developer is
field.
not always a data engineer, but there are various aspects, and there are various domains there in which these technologies are using. Like a lot of people are using the React and Node for developing their web applications. A lot of people are using Angular and Node for developing the web applications. Okay, a lot of people are using the Python and their frameworks for backend, as well as the Python can be used in the artificial intelligence. Also, they are used in the big data or a kind of data manipulation, and they also have to work with a lot of algorithms. So there are various domains that they where they are using that. For example, like we are working with edtech startup from the Chile. and what they are using is they are using the mean stack over there. But in order to optimize the various resources, they are using the Python for the algorithms to get the data and mold them, so that they can have various statistics that can help the universities to reduce or optimize their resources, or have the better use of their resources. So that is one of the use cases I can tell you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, also the developer has many of the minimal skills requested for a data engineer, like data manipulation. They can make big big queries. Like, yeah, that's some of the basis
Yeah,
requests
they are,
for a data engineer.
in order to have the data engineer, they must be have the proficiency in handling the data. Okay, either in the various kind of database like SQL, MySQL, MongoDB, MariaDB, and a lot BigQuery, big datas. They have to work a lot over there. If you want to be a data engineer, you need to be proficient hands on this kind of databases, apart from the technologies that we use for
Yeah,
like Python and all this kind of things.
yeah, but here you hear first. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think that's all I had prepared. And okay, we already got some discussion about technology. Anything you want to say before we finish? After this, I want to give you just two questions about that. What social networks we can follow you? Do you have an event that you want to announce? Yeah, something that you want to say about maybe you or your company, anything that you want to share with us and our community.
Yeah, like right now I'm trying to work with a lot of Latin American companies, but most of them can't work with some of them like have the hesitant to hire us or hire the companies from India, because they think that language or Spanish language is a problem. But I guess that language is not a problem anymore, because the world is a kind of a global village. So it is beyond the languages.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can hire the developer from in India without knowing if he doesn't know Spanish, or you can hire the developer from anywhere in the world. So don't be hesitate to work with the people from other culture or other languages.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be afraid of that community. You can find very good developers, very good project managers, very good CEOs over there.
Yeah, of
And
course. Yeah, you can. And apart from that, you can follow me on LinkedIn. My ID is Prateek Pavecha. You can sign in there. You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook.
okay, we will put all of that links or after that. Any event that you want to announce? Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Here I have the if you have any event that you want to announce, but I think it is a little bit hard if because you do not make announce or events, right? Like a company.
Yeah, right now like we don't have any lineups, but surely when I have in the future, I will be in your podcast again and then tell you.
Yeah, for sure. You're always invited. And let's say this is not the end. I hope we can talk to you later or sooner. And yeah,
Of
thanks.
course.
Thanks very much for coming here. And I also want to take the community. And yeah, until the next time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks Ronaldo. Thanks to Javier also for inviting me to such a interesting and amazing podcast over there. So I will be really glad to have my like to share my experience with you guys on this podcast, and millions of other peoples that are watching the podcast.
Yeah, this is like a quick talk. Well, further in the future, we can talk about a specific topics and like technology or anything that you want to talk with us.
Sure, of course. I will. No problem. I will be glad to have to be there. Okay, in person also and also virtual.
Okay, nice.